Hello, everyone. I am Taha from Codemagic, and this is.
I'm Lucas from Widgetbook.
Today, I have some questions for you. What is Widgetbook, and what is Widgetbook Cloud?
Yes, thanks a lot for having me. So Widgetbook is an open source package built by Flutter developers for Flutter developers. It's for anyone that is coming from a web development background. It's basically your storybook solution for Flutter. For anyone that has never heard about Storybook, Widgetbook in the end is your own custom component library, meaning you can create a nice overview or catalog of all of your different widgets from Flutter. And as you can also call a catalog a book, it is basically your widget book that you can create. It's open source, free to use for everyone. And the great thing is that you will see all of your different widgets in isolation and can quickly test all of your different widgets then in all the different configurations that you can have. Meaning you can test every widget in different themes, light and dark mode. You can test them on different device sizes, on all the different languages you might be using, all the different text scale factors you might have, and many more configurations. And as I mentioned, all of that is already open source and free to use for everyone. And as soon as you then say, Lucas, you know what? I do not want to use it alone as a developer. I do not only want to speed my development process up, but I would actually like to simplify the collaboration among my entire product team, mainly with my designers, product managers, or even my clients. What you can then do is you can also use Widgetbook Cloud, which is a paid service that we set on top of our open source package. And with Widgetbook Cloud, you can first of all host your widget book and thereby make it accessible for your entire team. So you can easily share your widget book with everyone on all the different branches you have. And what you can then do as well is you can benefit from a streamlined review process. And what I mean by that is that we built quite a smart solution for Widgetbook, meaning we can perfectly understand your pull request and understand precisely, okay, which are the widgets that actually changed now or were newly created, because these are the widgets that you should actually be testing or be reviewing, because while you can test the entire widget book all the time, which is already great, you don't need to test every widget all the time if it didn't change. So we precisely analyze your pull request, understand which widgets changed, and give you then a nice overview of only those changed widgets. And it doesn't stop there. So we show you the changed widgets in a side-by-side comparison with the Figma design. So you can, on one screen, very easily compare, basically, that's how it looks in Figma. That is what the designer initially thought we should be implementing. And that's, in the end, the result. That's what we end up building. And as you know it from the open source package, you can then also test your widgets in all the different configurations, like themes, device sizes, and so on. And if you then feel like, okay, something is off, then you can set a precise comment, receive a notification, and you can then also decide if I want to accept or if I want to reject this widget. And we then have a connection back into your pull request. So we are automatically running a CI check, which is basically checking if my change widgets were now all accepted or not. If they were accepted, amazing, the check turns green and you can safely merge with confidence. If not, I mean, it depends on your PR rules, and you might still be able to merge, no worries, but you shouldn't actually. You should actually have one more iteration with your team now, because right now you really only focus on the UI yet. You didn't need to include data binding yet or logic. It's really the pure UI. So at this point in time, it's actually quite fast and therefore also very cheap to iterate with your team. And therefore, with Widgetbook, we are improving your quality of your app and really make sure that the client always sees a beautiful app.
How did you start this?
Yeah, so I mean, I already talked about Storybook.js, and that is actually where we came from. So before we started building Flutter apps, we built web apps. And for that, we usually use JavaScript, mostly React. And there, one of the tools that we basically used for every project was Storybook.js. And it helped us a lot. And at some point, we had a client requesting a mobile app, and we tried React Native. And spoiler alert, we didn't really like the developer experience too much. And then my co-founder, who is now the CTO of Widgetbook, Jens, he found a great framework, which we all know quite well, which is called Flutter. And we tried it. It was back in the early days, but it worked really well for us. And as we kept getting more and more mobile apps that we built then with Flutter, at some point we were like, okay, we really need a storybook. We are so used to it. It gives us so many benefits that we can have our own custom component library, which is why we then decided, okay, it doesn't exist in the Flutter ecosystem, as the ecosystem was quite young. We have to build it ourselves. And first of all, we only built it for us because we were like, okay, maybe no one else needs it. Who knows if there are other people coming from a web development background. And at some point, other web development friends switched to Flutter and were like, hey, Lucas, you told us that you built a storybook solution for Flutter. Can you share it with us? And then we were like, yeah, of course we can. We open sourced it. And we then also very quickly built a Discord server because we said, okay, let's help other people who want to use our package. And we were really amazed because more and more people kept showing up in the Discord server. And we were like, okay, wow, that is actually quite great that so many people like to use the product. And then we actually decided, okay, maybe we can not only build Storybook like as a dev tool, but we could really build those features that we were always missing with Storybook.js. Because Storybook.js is a great developer tool, but it's not really a collaboration platform for your entire team. So while designers are able to see what you build, there's no way for designers to easily give you feedback, like no commenting option. There's no integration with Figma, nothing of these accept and reject functionalities that I was talking about. And that's where we said, okay, let's take a gamble. Let's quit our jobs, found a proper company from that, and try to, in the end, be able to support the Flutter community by building a full-time open source package. And fortunately, we took that decision, and then we incorporated the company around Widgetbook in early 2022, so beginning of last year. And we then quickly built a prototype of the collaboration platform, got our first paying customers, and then closed a funding round end of last year. And now we have an amazing team set up at Widgetbook. We are a team of designers, Flutter developers, really into the Flutter community. As you know, we met each other already at quite a lot of conferences. And that's the story behind Widgetbook.
What are your reasons to build an open source package? Why did you go open source?
Yeah, so basically, as I said, we were using Storybook.js in the past, and we're just amazed by the power a community has, because Storybook.js is a package that is now one of the most popular packages out there, and it is fully maintained by the community. And the community is doing a great job. And when we switched to Flutter, we wanted to have the exact same experience. And in the end, we didn't really even think about Widgetbook could once turn into a company and we could build a collaboration platform on top of it. We were actually just trying to solve our problem and then the problem of other developers. And we were really believing a lot in Flutter and in the ecosystem. And I'm still believing a lot in Flutter. And I also still believe that there's a lot to do for the ecosystem. If you just take a look into other frameworks, you can really see, okay, what are like tools that are still missing for the Flutter community, for the ecosystem that we could still be building. And we just basically wanted to contribute to it, because for us it was very clear that Flutter is going to make it, and it was a great gamble so far. And I think we are still just getting started with the community. So for us it was really just being able to help everyone in the world. I truly believe in open source. So in the end, it gives you so many possibilities. Anyone can do everything with it. It's free to use. It is always compliant, meaning it can help the smallest startup, it can help the biggest enterprise. Yeah, it's just an amazing tool that you could use if you decide to open source your software. I can only encourage more people to contribute.
Wonderful, wonderful. So how Figma integrates into Widgetbook?
Yes, that's a great question. So that is basically one of the features that our users desired most, and we were very happy to be able to ship it in the past few months. And basically, how we integrate it is we try to make sure to, on the one hand, not interfere with the designer's processes, and then also not with the developer processes. And therefore, what we came up with is quite, at least I think, and you Taha, tested it, hopefully you can confirm it, that we came up with quite a good solution for it. So you can imagine that the design handoff process just happened. So a designer just created, let's say, a new screen that you should be implementing. And then you go into Figma, and you just do a right mouse click on the Figma design, and then you copy the link of that design file. And you can then go back into the IDE of your choice. And Widgetbook works with an annotation-based code generator, very similar to Freest. And there you can just annotate your widgets with our use case annotation. And that use case annotation has an optional parameter called design link. And here you basically just paste that link, and that's all you have to do. And once you did that, let the generator run again so that your widget is being cataloged in Widgetbook. Then you can already commit your latest changes. And once you did that, you will see, okay, I created a new widget. So of course it's going to be appearing in my Widgetbook Cloud reviews. And then you have the chance of seeing on the one side, that's how my implemented screen looks like in Flutter. And on the other side, you're going to see how it looks in Figma.
What role would CI/CD play when using Widgetbook?
Yeah, it plays a huge role because, as I mentioned, you can just use the open source package, which is already great for developing your UI faster, for never losing the overview of your developed widgets. Again, basically quickly verifying if everything works correctly. But if you then decide, okay, let's go for Widgetbook Cloud as well, share my Widgetbook with the entire team, benefit from a streamlined review process, then you need to have some sort of CI/CD tool that you're using. And with Widgetbook, we are supporting basically every popular CI/CD tool that's out there. But I can proudly say it at Taha, most of our customers are actually using Codemagic. So it's for our customers a great solution, especially the integration with GitHub is working very well for our customers. So by default, our customers are using Codemagic for CI/CD, GitHub as a Git provider, but no worries. In case you are not using Codemagic or GitHub, we also support other CI/CD or Git providers. But in the end, you need to use some sort of CI/CD tool and some sort of Git provider in order to be able to benefit from Widgetbook Cloud.
Last question. What's next for Widgetbook?
Yeah, so as you can imagine, there's a lot of potential that we still have. So on the one hand, as I mentioned, we are really focused on helping developers building their UI faster. And one of the biggest new features that we're actually working on right now as we speak is golden test integration for Widgetbook. So we've been speaking to hundreds of Flutter companies already, and golden testing is something that a lot of companies are doing, but unfortunately, they are facing some issues with golden testing. And what we want to do with Widgetbook is we want to allow you, when you're already using Widgetbook, that we basically develop out of the box, we generate golden tests for you. And also, if you're already using golden tests, in the end, Taha, you use your open source package a lot yourself, so you probably saw that it is quite similar. Like the process of making widgets accessible for Widgetbook Cloud is quite similar in writing golden tests. And therefore, we just said, okay, let's try to combine it. And therefore, let's try to generate golden tests already for our Widgetbook users. And on the other hand, there are also some other issues with golden tests that we want to solve. One of the biggest issues that customers also face is that when you are running your golden tests, you have the problem that Utah might be using Windows machine, I might be using macOS, or I might be using another version of macOS than you would, and our tests would fail. And they shouldn't actually fail. They are only failing because there are platform differences. That's also a problem that we're going to tackle. And what we're also going to be tackling is the storage of your golden tests. I've been talking with a lot of companies, and just within a few weeks, your golden tests can really clutter your repository a lot. And we will just manage your golden tests on Widgetbook Cloud, so they will not be saved on your repository anymore, and thus your CI pipeline will not run until eternity. So we will take care of that for you. And golden testing is basically just a start for test automations. There's going to be other tests that we can automate. For example, we have access to your widgets and all the different languages, so we could quickly test for overflows. If you're, for example, building your app, I'm from Germany, so I know the struggle a lot. That German is quite a long language. We have quite a lot of compound nouns, so there can be overflows, and we can automatically test that for you. Or other features that we're gonna explore as well is to have even better integration with Figma, which is quite exciting. Or that we're not only giving you the ability to manually review your widgets, but that we can automate it for you. So these are only like some things that I named. I could go on here for minutes. So there's a lot that we have on our roadmap. We're just getting started with Widgetbook, and yeah, we are super excited for the future.
Where people can reach out to you and your team?
Yeah, so we are available on, I would say, all the popular platforms. So what is always best and easiest, especially if you're looking for quick support, is we have a Discord community. So we already have more than 1,700 users on our Discord server. So if you like, just feel free to reach out to us on Discord. I'm sure Taha can just put a link to our Discord server under the video. But you could also easily find the Discord server just by clicking our website, available under widgetbook.io. And then in the top right corner, you will have a button to join our Discord community. That's basically the quickest and easiest way. But other than that, we are available via Twitter, via LinkedIn. You can always shoot us emails as well, all possible via the website.